Hey everybody, Craig Cottle, Director of Nature Reliance School. Bug out supplies and kits and all that stuff, there's millions of them out there. I'm not a fan of most of them, but I'm a fan of these. So I wanted to take some time, do some videos for these BOSS kits. BOSS meaning Bug Out Survival Supplement. I've got, I believe, 15 different kits that they have sent me here. And I've divided them into 7 different categories here, or 6, I can't remember. And we're going to do videos for each one of those categories and show you what's involved in every one of these kits. So check them out. Well worth your time in checking these out because I think they're pretty good. So the first kits I want to talk about are the first aid items. So let's take a look. 12-piece break and sprain kit. Got a pocket first aid kit, 122-piece individual first aid kit, and a 25-piece wound treatment kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay each one of these out and go through the pieces so you have a good idea of what's in them. First off, they come in these sealed packages, just like any other thing you might get from the grocery with a sealed package. You just rip off the top, and then you actually have a resealable portion on the top. So you can check everything out, use stuff, put it back, and you still got a useful kit that's going to keep everything water resistant. Okay, so let's take a look at what's in here. First off, this is the pocket first aid kit, and you have a listing on the outside of the kit of everything that's in here, so that's a really useful tool. But let's go ahead and look at them. You've got some real fundamental round 2x2 sponges. You have a non-adherent pad. You have Steri-Strips, which is really good to keep a wound closed if you're in the backcountry. You have some tape, really fantastic tape for medical supplies. I would probably add some duct tape. I'm a big fan of duct tape. You have sting relief pads, which is basically isopropyl alcohol and some benzocaine. And you have sterile alcohol pads. You got 2 or 3 things here. You got antiseptic towelettes to clean an area. You got a sterile alcohol pad. And then you also have triple antibiotic ointment right here as well. All that. Remember, triple antibiotic ointment is not intended to be put down in a wound, but around the outside of a wound to help clean the area. This one right here is one of the most overlooked items in a first aid kit that I think is essential, burn gel. If you look at the Wilderness Medical Society data, burns are one of the most likely things that are in the top 3, depending on which resource you look at. So burn gel is going to be incredibly important. You have a cleanser for poison ivy and poison oak. This is probably a little bit overkill because basically you can use water to get that off as best you can, and different plants. So remember always, if you get the oil on you, it's like having oil on you. So you want to use something to get that off. You have sunscreen lotion, which is incredibly useful, obviously. You have some moleskin to keep in there. Obviously, the regular sterile bandages. You have the what I call the knuckle bandages to use on a finger. A larger sterile bandage. The last item is a splinter out, and quite frankly, I don't know what this is. So I'm going to open it up and show you so I can get it too. Oh, okay, cool. This is really nice. But basically, this has a nice sharp point on it, so you can use it to dig in and get splinters out that you might get hung up. Those kind of things, yeah, you can live without having a splinter removed, but when you're in the backcountry and you might be there for several days, a nice little tool to have with you, and it doesn't take up much space, so great to have. All right, so the real test is, can I get it all back in here? And we'll see. I feel pretty confident that I can come through for us. A lot of stuff. And this is just the pocket kit, you all. This is what's so crazy about it, is that the pocket kit is the smallest of the bunch for all of these. One of the things I really like about these kits is they have a really robust kit, and then they have these small versions too to meet the needs of whatever your budget is or packing size, whatever it is that you have need for, small or big. And you can get multiples of each as well, right? So it's all in there and all closed up. Wow. This is a lot of stuff, and I've tried to organize it for you so it'll make it a little bit easier to understand what we have here. And let's talk about how to use some of this stuff while we're at it too. We've got 4x4 gauze pads. We got another sterilized gauze pad. We got several different types of sponges and pads. Obviously for bleeding wounds, sterile gauze pads to cover up a wound site so you don't get any more debris in it. You got rolled gauze if you have a large wound and you want to pack it. This is another thing that people hardly ever put in kits, and I don't understand why, is eye wash. I've used eye wash so many times in outdoor situations that I think it's critical to have it in a first aid kit. You have the requisite sterile bandages. You've got knuckle bandages, big ones, little ones, you got all those. Sterile alcohol pads again. And again, as I mentioned in the little kit, you've got a bunch of burn gels here. One of the reasons that burn gels come up is because, don't do this and you can avoid using this, is they use jet boils and small stoves while they're sitting cross-legged and put it right between their legs, and then they end up burning their thighs. That's a real problem. So let's avoid that happening, but we have burn gel if something like that happens. Sunscreen lotion, here's something well, there's several more added bonuses, but this is one that's not in the pocket kit that I like. Hydrocortisone cream for itching. Some of the other things that we have here that we had before, we have the moleskin, antiseptic wipes, prep pads, sting relief, 2 splinter out. Here's another thing that we did not have. CPR face shield, if you're going to be doing CPR, which is a nice addition. Another nice addition is gloves, lip balm, and then you have Soothe and Cool pads to put on areas as well. And last but not least, check it out. I don't know what this thing is. Do y'all know what this thing is? But yeah, it's got a face mask in it as well for keeping debris out. Think about a forest fire. Think about something of that nature. Think about 9/11, where you want to have a face mask on and keep large sedimentation and stuff of that out of your lungs and your nose. Real useful tool. Sorry, that wasn't last. Something I did forget is we have more tape, a very small piece of trauma shears, and then you have a really nice pair of tweezers here to utilize to get stuff out of wounds and splinters and all that nature. All right, the next one I want to go through is the 12-piece break and sprain kit. What's the number one injury in the backcountry? Broken or twisted ankle. That's your answer. This will take care of it. Check it out. I had a good Special Forces teacher. I wasn't in Special Forces, but this guy was. And he trained me to make protection around sprains and breaks fat and sassy. Meaning you put something soft around it and then you have something rigid around it. The soft is the fat, the rigid is the sassy. This is a splinting device made for that purpose. You can't feel it, but obviously I can form it and it stays there. This is fantastic for ankles. This is fantastic. Check this out real quick. I'll show you how quick to use this. So let's say you have this piece right here and you have this part of your arm that's broken. Somebody would do this for you, but you get them to form this, put a little grip right here for your hand, make a little boat out of it, put your hand right in there, and then you can take your ACE bandage, wrap it around. This is going to help, the rigidity is going to help make sure that the sprain or the break doesn't continue to wallow around and cause more injury. So it's a fantastic piece of equipment. So you've got a small ACE bandage and a larger ACE bandage to help facilitate that, as well as 2 big things of tape. Beyond that, you even have these smaller pieces that you can use to, let's take a look at those real quick because I've never seen these until this kit. You can utilize to help splint a finger. That'd be a really useful little piece to do that. You have a triangular bandage, which is going to help to secure a leg, secure an arm, and then you have a code pack. Along with that, you have trauma shears. These are the types of trauma shears that'll cut any kind of pants or clothes or jacket off so you can get to the wound site, get to the break so that you can see what you're working with. And that is the 12-piece break and sprain kit. Nice kit right here. I really like this one. All right, so the last one that I want to put into this first aid video is the 25-piece wound treatment kit. Let's take a look. Hey, one good mark of a fantastic kit is people put in a Gen 7 or a genuine soft tourniquet, one or the other. I like both of them. And it increases the price a little bit. It's worth every single penny. I see kits all the time that have knockoff tourniquets in them, and quite frankly, that tells me a lot about the kit. That's garbage, because those do not work. So let's take a look at how you can tell. First off, you'll get this, most of the time you get this little sheet that comes with it, has that CAT logo on it. You'll look on this portion and you'll see the CAT, that's Combat Application Tourniquet. This one is orange. They come in all kinds of different colors, and I believe in the Boss kits they might come in a different color. So I just wanted this to be out there so you could see it. But this is a knockoff tourniquet. And you can see right here where it says Recon. It looks like, other than the color, it looks like the same apparatus, but it's not. I've trained a bunch of military units, and one unit in particular, a Cav Scout unit, that got mixed up in a really serious situation and had to use a bunch of tourniquets, and they had some knockoff. This is stuff that was supplied by the Department of Defense. They did not realize they were knockoff tourniquets, and they ended up breaking a bunch of them in the midst of this battle. Tragic situation. So make sure you're getting a CAT, Combat Application Tourniquet, or SOF, Special Operations Forces Tactical Tourniquet. Let's take a look at this other stuff. Pads, real thick pads, really good. Steri strips. This is all stuff that we've seen before. A couple things that you haven't seen. Razor, if you need to get some hair out of the way to put some good application. You have some rolled gauze. Permanent marker. Oftentimes you use permanent marker either on the gauze or right on somebody's forehead when you put a tourniquet on them. You have a pair of forceps. That might be overkill. You have some good trauma shears, another big gauze, a little rolled gauze, sponges, and more 4x4. So this is a really, oh, I forgot, Israeli bandage. This is what they're normally called. Here's how I normally run these. When you open this up, you'll see that it's in another vacuum sealed package. I usually take it out of this gray package and carry it like this. Still vacuum sealed, still good. And that is just one more step, having to take this off, that you don't have to worry about when you're in an emergency and you need to put a pressure bandage. But what this is a pressure bandage that is not necessarily a situation where you need a tourniquet. And that way you can put it on, you can get back to the fight, get back into the situation that you need to do to get yourself out of there. Hey, so that closes up the kits that I have. And man, Boss is doing a great job. They're continually improving the kits. That's how I got involved with them. They asked for some advice. The tourniquet thing is one of the things that they have really updated recently. There's a couple other things that they're doing, and it might be that we do some kits with them at some point in time. Don't really know about that, but at the very least, these are great kits, and I think they're worthy of your consideration for sure. I like that you can open them up and then put the gear back in. If you want to train and practice, you can train and practice and use everything in the kit. Maybe pick up another pocket kit to replenish it, or get some supplies, a resupply kit for the kit itself. And that way, because obviously I am a big fan of training with your kit. Instead of just buying something, sticking it in a glove box, sticking it in a toolbox, sticking it in a pack. Actually training with your supplies so that you know how you do with them and can be an effective person to help in first aid. So get first aid training, American Red Cross, American Heart Association. Get Stop the Bleed training. Stop the Bleed is a trauma medicine course that you can pick up nearly anywhere. And if you have time, get Wilderness First Responder or Wilderness EMT, depending upon what your level of training needs to be. And it's just fantastic stuff. So check it out, get the kits, and you'll be ready. Every family should have a medic in the family, if not 2 or 3. So check it out. Come on, join in. Let's check these kits out together.